Hello everyone, Big Red 310 is back here again to talk more about, to talk about WrestleMania weekend. It's been a while. It's been a long time since I uploaded a video, especially a non-YouTube take video. I think the last one I did was when I reviewed the 11th anniversary show. So, it's been a while. Sorry. I'm going to bring back the old Honor Hammer gimmick of college. My longtime listeners will, actually not even that long time, but people who've been around will understand what that means. I've been very busy. My apologies. And going to WrestleMania weekend just completely made me 10,000 times more busy during the week than when I was beforehand. So, again, my apologies. I'm working on it. But yeah, so WrestleMania weekend's been... It was fun. It was a lot of fun. There's more to say about it than that, but that's my overall thoughts, that it was an absolutely fantastic weekend that met a lot of great people. I think the beauty about this trip, I'll say this much. I was upset. I wasn't upset. I was a little saddened that, some of the people that went last year weren't going to be coming back, because these are the type of people that I only see at WrestleMania weekend. Trademark and Bryan, next big thing, 82. So Popinski, 82, who is in gimmick. Some of you know who that is, others don't. I actually did an interview with him on my channel a long ass time ago. Go check it out. It's pretty cool. Them two. Who's another one? Ben Turpin. Yeah, Ben. I mentioned your fucking name on my show. That's right. Ben. And those three, and I'm trying to think of another. Oh, and obviously Travis, Sabatini Forever. These are guys that I can see, at any New York Ring of Honor show, New York Chikara show, any wrestling event in the Northeast. I can really see these guys. But the guys that didn't go to WrestleMania weekend are the guys that I really only see at WrestleMania weekend. Like Brandon, Instant Classic. Most of you should know who that is. Miguel, freaking Yaya 88. Another one. Most of you should know who that is. True Slayer, another one. These are people that I only see at WrestleMania weekend, and I have no other way of seeing them the rest of the year, unless Brandon finally makes a trip to New York for a Ring of Honor / Chikara show. Come on, son, it's been a while. But yeah, I really don't get to see these people often throughout the year, so to see them not go to WrestleMania weekend was kind of a bummer, because I knew that meant I wasn't going to see them until next year WrestleMania weekend, which I may not even go to, but that's a whole different story. But the beauty about this weekend was, because it's in Jersey, I got to meet a lot of people who normally can't go to WrestleMania weekend, but because it was in their area this year, because, it's Jersey, very good wrestling market in the New York, New Jersey, Northeast area, a bunch of people went that I never met before, and I met a lot more, I met more people this year, and I made more friends. So, because of that, I'm kind of happy. But, I'm kind of bummed that the guys who usually couldn't come this year. It is what it is, I understand. But I'm glad that I got to meet new faces this time around. So, as far as shout-outs go, I'll do shout-outs throughout the whole thing. I want to talk about my entire experience. It won't go too long, at least I don't think. And then I want to fit in some WWE booking comments in that as well. First off, Friday. Okay. Friday I went to class, which sucked. You know what it is in class, knowing that you have WrestleMania weekend waiting you? It was just terrible. But after I went to class, I jumped on the train. On the train, I watched the Chikara Florida shows that I was behind on. You'll get a review of all the Chikara shows in another video that I'll do in a few days. To catch up on all of Chikara content before I saw them live again. Because whenever I see a Chikara show, I try to be up to date so I know every little storyline feature, so that way I'm not lost during the show. I get there, I meet Trademark, Jared, whatever you want to call him, at the train station in Penn Station, because he was taking a train from where he lives. And then we both wanted to take a train to our hotel in Jersey, in Secaucus, and then take a train immediately back to New York to the Ring of Honor show, because Sabatini Forever, Travis, was holding our spot in line, and Trademark had his ticket, which makes no sense, because, I know Trademark bought his ticket for him, but, if we both knew that Travis had to hold our spot in line, so it would have been smart if Travis could have gotten his ticket in the mail, but the pirate only knows how to click the download button on XWT, does not know how to actually, function anything else with wrestling. So basically, we go to Secaucus train station. We go to our hotel in Jersey where we were rooming. It was me, him, LV, and Phil. Nightmare 10 on Nightmare 10 on YouTube, Nightmare 88 on Twitter, Nightmare 26 on Xbox, by the way, if you want to add him there. Phil. I spent a good portion of my weekend with Phil, so I will have a lot to say about him in a little bit. But we were going to go over there, and we get to the hotel, and LV is not there yet because he had issues with his travel. And we could not get the room until LV was there. So me and Trademark are there with all our bags and stuff, and there's no room for us to go to. So we came all the way to Jersey just to drop off our bags before ROH, and we can't do that. So we're kind of freaking out a little bit. Then eventually I think we talked to the hotel managers, and they agreed to hold our stuff in storage until then we would go to the ROH show, come back afterwards, and hopefully all our stuff will be ready, and we can put it all in the room. So we do that, and then me and him try to rush. At this point, it's 4:30. The ROH, no, not 4:30, 4:45. Doors open for Ring of Honor at 5:30, and like I said, Travis was holding our place in line, so we had to get to him as soon as possible. So we had 45 minutes to get from Secaucus, New Jersey, to the Ring of Honor venue. It sounds easy, but it was quite difficult. First, we thought we could take a bus, but that ended up being a disaster. Then we ended up taking the hotel shuttle to Secaucus, and then from Secaucus, we had to wait for the train. That train took us to Penn Station, and then from Penn Station, we had to walk to the venue. And we got there at 5:35, right before Travis was going to enter the door, and Trademark just hopped the guardrail and gave him his ticket. So that worked out perfectly. So we get to the ROH show. We get seats, I believe, first row, second balcony. We got pretty good seats. We paid $15, which is quite good, considering how much. I think I paid much more for every other show that weekend, and Ring of Honor was arguably the best show, and we paid $15. So, yeah. I sat with them two. Shout out to another guy I met this weekend, Dylan, Dr. Perfection. Very, very cool guy. I hadn't met him yet, and he lives in the I think he lives. Actually, I don't think he lives. I'm not sure where he lives, to be honest, but I know he lives in the Northeast. So he was there. I got to talk to him for a little bit. Then out came Bryan, Sanders Robin. Most of you should know who he is. And Phil came as well. So we all sat down, and we're all ready to watch the ROH show. We're all pretty excited. I thought the show was going to be really good. It pretty much met at my expectations, I would say. So, whatchamacallit, the first match is QT Marshall and RD Evans versus ACH and Tadarius Thomas, which was a lot of fun live. I really enjoyed it. ACH is a spectacle to watch live. That man is a star. I know I'm not the first one to say that. Marvelous surprise. But the ROH tag team division is very interesting. Those that have been following me for a long time know that I've been very critical of this tag team division in the past. Not that it was bad, but the company kept saying it was the best in the world. And in my opinion, it wasn't even close, that it was not. I think back in 2010, TNA, PWG, and Chikara all had a far better tag team division than Ring of Honor did. In 2010, they had the Briscoes, they had ANX, and they had the Kings of Wrestling. And honestly, that was it. I mean, the Dark City Fight Club were around, but not much. They had already pretty much broken up the Wolves at this point. It was. I mean, I constantly complained in 2010 that the Kings of Wrestling never defended the belts, ever. They feuded with the Briscoes for 6 months. Then they fight Haas and Benjamin in a non-title special match. And then they fight the Briscoes and Papa Briscoe at Final Battle. Then finally we get the ANX title defense in February of 2011. And then they fight Haas and Benjamin again. They had a year-long title reign, and they faced 3 teams. That's just insane. The tag team division was way overrated back then. And I was so tired of everybody just completely putting it over. Everyone marking out, yes, Hero, Claudio, and the Briscoes are all great wrestlers, and they were having great matches. That doesn't mean the fucking division is good. Just because the tag team matches are great doesn't mean the division is awesome. That's not how it works, okay? And the belts were never defended on iPay-per-view. Against the Briscoe, they only defended belts against the Briscoes on iPay-per-view all of 2010. It was just. That whole period was very overrated for Ring of Honor, and I was tired. This is when everyone was on Ring of Honor's dick. I loved Ring of Honor back in 2010 as well. That was one of their best years in a long time. But I was more of a Chikara fan, but I really did like what Ring of Honor was doing in 2010. But I did think they would make mistakes, and people would just say, it's ROH, it's okay. Much like, and I'll admit, LV has said this a lot, nowadays, when Chikara makes a mistake, when Chikara makes a storyline mistake specifically, everyone says it's okay because it's Chikara. And I will admit, like now and a little bit towards the end of 2012, I'm noticing more and more booking inconsistencies that I'm calling them out on. But for Ring of Honor back in 2010, nothing was wrong. Like, they're having great shows every month. They're having great pay-per-views every month. The matches are great. So everything's great. And I was just like, fuck no. I saw a lot wrong with that product. With the tag team division, the Pick 6, anything revolving the Embassy in 2010. Fuck. My God, that was terrible. So, yeah, I was very critical of ROH tag team division. Now, I look at the division, and I actually think it's better. They don't have the talent like the Kings of Wrestling. But, I mean, let's think. We have the Wolves back. We still have the Briscoes. We have the champions, Red Dragon, who are great. We have ACH and Tadarius Thomas, who are going to be a lot of fun to watch. We have Coleman and Alexander, who maybe you have two of the same teams, that's not good, but they're also a lot of fun to watch. Now it seems like we're getting more and more of QT Marshall and RD Evans. RD Evans is fantastic, and if they're going to do anything with QT Marshall, the best thing they can do is pair him up with RD Evans. And then after that, I mean, that's 6 teams total. Alabama Attitudes coming in and out. They're wrestling more and more. I don't think they're going to be roster members, quote unquote, but they're wrestling a good amount. They were going to do something with Mondo and Redwood, but Redwood is not there anymore. And I think they might replace Mondo with someone else. But, I mean, that's 6, 7 teams right there. I mean, that's a productive enough division. I mean, I'm pretty content with it. It's better than it was. I mean, the titles are getting defended all the time. The titles seem important. And I like where the division is right now. I'm very happy with it. I know a lot of people have been critical because, it's been 5 months, I think, and we literally have gotten the same matches over and over again. We had the Wolves and Red Dragon twice. We had Red Dragon and Briscoes, and we're going to get it again in a few weeks. And what was the other one? The one that we had a lot. I guess that's really it. But yeah, we're repeating a lot of the same over and over again. But like they brought in Kozlov and Romero. The Scum, obviously, how can I forget Scum? Are going to be some sort of tag team. The tag team is diverse, and that is a good thing. So I'm happy with the division now. I don't know why I went on that long rant. That was random. But yeah, I just wanted to bring up past transgressions. So that match was fun. Shelton and Mike Bennett. This was fun live. I hated their match at Before Dishonor 9 live. I hated that match. I remember I was sitting with Travis. We were sitting first row balcony, and I kid you not, I am not exaggerating. You can ask Travis yourself. I literally put my head down against the little, resting place right next to first row balcony, like a little pillar. I put my head against the pillar, and I said, wake me up when it's the finish. At near falls, we would boo that the match wasn't over. I hated that match live. This match I liked a lot better. It was funnier, and they did some more, They did a little more in this match, and I thought it was a decent send-off for Shelton, so I was fine with it. I enjoyed it. Funny note. Phil, obviously, Nightmare 88, big Mike Bennett fan. Shelton Benjamin comes out, and he just stands up and yells at the top of his lungs, "You suck, Benjamin. Who trained you? Zach Gowen?" Yes. Zach Gowen. Yes. Then after that match, we had Elegant and Lethal. This was awesome live. Nothing more I can say about it. This was, this wasn't the match of the weekend live, but I thought it was very close to it. I thought this was top 3 match of the weekend right here. I absolutely loved this match live. They just killed each other, and they made Elegant look really good. So yeah, thumbs up to that match. Awesome match live. What was after that match? The Scum match, I did not like live. It got a lot of good reviews on TV, but live, I just didn't like it. Live, I was just bored. It wasn't that good. Then we got Carl Anderson and Roderick. Live, I thought it was good, but I was very disappointed. I really thought this would be the match that puts this show over the top, but it didn't happen. For whatever reason. The crowd didn't know who Carl Anderson was. They knew who Cheeseburger was, who appeared on one episode of ROH TV randomly 2 months ago, but they have no idea who Carl fucking Anderson is. As Bryan said, and Ring of Honor is supposed to have smart fans, quote unquote. Yeah. Well, what else was on this show? Fuck, I'm having a hard time remembering. I know I'm missing a match. 4, 5. Yeah, I've counted 5 so far, and there were 8. There were not 7. What the fuck am I missing? How am I missing a match? I know the Wolves match was not next. I'm missing something. I just have no idea what the fuck it was. Oh, the 3-way tag. Yeah, this was whatever. I didn't really like this that much live. I thought it was okay. It was whatever. Then we got the Wolves match, which I thought was great. I was there for their final battle match, and this was definitely better, in my opinion. They just did more. They went longer. The titles were on the line. It felt a little more important. The finish was worse, but the match overall, I really, really, really liked. This was a great match live. I really loved it. And then the main event, Kevin Steen, Jay Briscoe. I mean, what more is there to be said? I mean, it was fucking fantastic live. On TV, I heard it was just very good because of Jay's injury, but the atmosphere live was incredible. I mean, I could definitely tell something was wrong with the match. Like, it just, I don't know, something was wrong with Jay. I mean, I know what was wrong. He was hurt, but he wasn't performing like the 100%. If Jay was healthy, this was not the Jay Briscoe-Kevin Steen match you would expect. But Jay was hurt, so that's understandable. And they still had a very fun match, great match live. And that ending was just fantastic. The entire place popped. I remember when he hit the Jade Driller, me and Trademark both thought the same thing. We both thought, oh, this is going to be an amazing near fall. Like, not in that we weren't buying it, but that we were sort of hooked into it. Like, we were like, oh my God, is this the finish? But you had that little thing at the back of your mind that says, man, they hooked you in. You know, it's very weird. Like, at that moment, I thought, oh my God, this is it. This is it. But I had that thing in the back of my mind saying, this is that Michael Elgin, Davey Richards moment where they make you believe Jay's going to win when he's actually not. Like, that's what I had in the back of my mind. So when I actually saw the ref's hand count 3, I literally was just like frozen in my seat for like a good 10 seconds. I was like, what? Like, immediately when the ref counted 3, Trademark and Travis like jumped up in the air. The whole place was going fucking crazy. I'm just like in my chair, just like, did he just count 3? And then I get up and I start going crazy too. It was fantastic live. I'm really bummed that they couldn't play the old school Briscoe theme song on the iPay-per-view. I understand why, but it just sucks because live that was a lot of fun. So yeah, Jay Briscoe, new ROH champ. Congrats, he deserves it. I don't know how long he's going to have it. I said this on Twitter. The next pay-per-view, Border Wars, they're going to do Mark Briscoe and Matt Taven and Jay Briscoe and Adam Cole. I think either both the Briscoes win or both the Briscoes lose. I think Mark Briscoe may win the TV title. You deserve it. Like, maybe you're not as good as Jay, but you've been with this company for a long time, and you also are a very talented singles wrestler. So here's props to you. And then that way, when they do the Briscoes versus Red Dragon again, it would be, can the Briscoes capture all the gold? But if Mark Briscoe loses, I think Jay loses to Adam Cole, because Jay Briscoe versus Adam Cole, many people have said this. I think it's going to be a really good match, but many people have said that this would have opened the WrestleMania weekend show last year. And that's actually very accurate. Last year, if you saw this match on the WrestleMania weekend show last year, you would have picked it as the opener. And now it's main eventing a Canada pay-per-view. So I just can't see Jay Briscoe just pinning him with a Jay Driller 1, 2, 3. Babyface Adam Cole, that's the end. That just seems very weird to me. Very weird to me. Could Cole turn heel, but Jay still win? Probably. Sort of, maybe. I'm not sure what to think here. But if Mark Briscoe loses, I think Jay's going to lose as well, because the Briscoes versus Red Dragon in a month with just Jay as champion and not Mark, that just seems a little awkward. Plus, I just don't see the point in Jay Briscoe beating Adam Cole clean unless they want to do the Briscoes fighting for all the titles. That's the only reason I can think of. But yeah, I have no idea. I'm just not sure what to think of this main event. That's a good thing, because I don't know the result, so I'm interested. But if I was a gambling man, I would bet Mark Briscoe loses to Taven, because they like Taven, and I would bet that Adam Cole joins Scum and beats Jay Briscoe. Maybe that's just my guess. Or maybe Adam Cole beats him clean. I've heard people suggest that Adam Cole becomes face champion and then he fights Hardy, for the belt, because they were feuding. So that would make sense. I've heard people say this. I'm not sure. I do know that Bryan Alvarez said that they've been planning this Jay Briscoe title win since before Kevin Steen won the belt. So, yeah. That doesn't mean it doesn't have to be a transitional, because apparently they were planning the Eddie Edwards title win for a really long time before he ended up winning it. But at the end of the day, he just ended up being a transition from Roddy to Davey. And at the time, I said, this is stupid. I'm sorry, Ben. Sorry, JP. Like, at the time, I was like, this is stupid because Davey's just going to beat him, and it's going to confirm, and it's going to be like, well, like, the story they were trying to tell was Eddie was the underrated wolf, and no one, like, gave him credit. Everyone just paid attention to Davey, but Eddie was busting his ass, too. And look, he won the title first. That was the story they were trying to tell. But the end result of the story is Davey's going to beat him for the belt, and Davey was, well, we were right. Davey was the better wolf. Like, that, and Eddie's will never recover from that. I always thought that at the time. I was like, well, Davey's going to beat him, and it's going to be like, yep, you were right. Davey is the better wolf. When it should have been, Davey should have won the belt, and Eddie should have beaten him, and it would have been like, whoa, we've been underrating Eddie this whole time. Then you give Eddie a good run as champion, and then, Eddie looks credible as champion. It's not fucking rocket science, people. Jesus. So, yeah, Jay Briscoe, I can see him more as a transitional. He and Mark might still be going to the WWE. I'm not ruling that out just because there's been so many rumors the past 2 years of them two. And maybe them getting titles is just like Ring of Honor saying, okay, let's give you the belt on your way out, like as a thank you. So I can totally see Adam Cole winning, but like I said, I just have no idea. If Mark Briscoe beats Matt Taven, then for sure Jay Briscoe's winning. Because I do not see Mark being champion and Jay not being champion. That would be stupid. But if Mark Briscoe wins, then I'm almost 100% sure that Jay wins. But yeah, I'm not sure what to think. I'm interested though. Wow, I talked a lot about Ring of Honor. So that show was great. After that show, we went out to dinner. Then I went to stay with a friend who goes to school in New York because I hadn't seen him in a long time. We hung out all night. We hung out very late. I lost track of time. I got back to the hotel at 5 in the morning. Woke up everybody in the hotel except Trademark. I woke up Phil, Nightmare 10, Nightmare 88, Nightmare 26 on Xbox, and I woke up LV. And all three of us were talking, and Trademark was still sleeping, and Phil decided, all three of us decided to play the Shield theme song on our phones at the same time and wake Trademark up. It was awesome. He freaked out. It was fantastic. So yeah, we talked for a little bit, then I went to bed, woke up. Next day, I went to Shimmer with Phil. That show started out a lot of fun, but then it just really dragged. It really dragged. The show was okay. I know a lot of people who said the show sucked. I don't want to go that far. I would just say it was okay. It was just way too fucking long. Way too fucking long. And it wasn't even that long. Okay, it was like 3.5 hours. It felt like 4.5. Like, fuck. Like, I remember at intermission, I was like, well, what is this, intermission after the first 3 hours? And I looked at my watch. It was 1 hour and 50. Like, it felt like a long-ass show. There was some good stuff. I mean, I thought the best match was Mercedes Martinez and Yumi Kurihara. Another good match was, what was it? Athena and Hamada was very good. Mia Yim and Amazing Kong was actually good, and I had very low expectations for that match. And the cage match was okay. One of the weak cage matches I've ever seen. It was just very boring for 10 minutes. They hit the high cage spots, and then it's over. So it was fine. But yeah, the show was whatever. Phil really liked it at first. He then, when Rhea O'Reilly came out, I think that's her name. Rhea O'Reilly comes out in tights with a clover leaf on the side. And he just turns to me and he just goes, "Big Rat, watch this." And I'm like, oh no. And he just goes, "Female Sheamus." And I'm just like, oh no. And he proceeds to chant this, and no one chants along. And then he starts telling people to get into the chant with him. And the guys around him just say, "She doesn't look like Sheamus." Like, just because she's Irish, she doesn't look like Sheamus. That doesn't warrant the chant. And I was like, yeah. That was a funny moment. But yeah, Shimmer was whatever. I was okay with it. It was expensive as fuck. That was my only problem with it. I originally wasn't going to go, but I just had nothing else to do that morning because I was woken up pretty early. So it was $35 for Shimmer. And I paid $15 for Ring of Honor, and I paid $35 for Shimmer. I paid more for Shimmer than any other show that weekend. Like, what the fuck? That's why I was mad, because it was expensive. But the other shows were good. Then was Chikara. I don't want to go fully in depth because I kind of want to talk about the show when I do my review of all the Chikara shows of 2013, which will be in a few days. I'll say this much. It was a very good show for introducing new Chikara fans. I had a really good time. Phil is the perfect fan to watch Chikara with because he marks out for everything, and it's awesome at Chikara. Not so awesome at Shimmer, but at Chikara it's awesome. And the main event with Quack and Liger versus Jigsaw and the Shard was a great, great match live. I don't know how it'll come off on DVD, but live I legitimately thought this was like... I don't rate matches live, but I think live you can get a decent idea of how the match would come across on DVD. And I thought that on DVD this would come across like a 4-star match, personally. But live it was great. Live it was just great. I loved it. So I don't know how it'll come off on DVD, but live I thought it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I would also put this in the top 3 match of the weekend. I think this is my second favorite match of the weekend. My first was on the Dragon Gate show. This was second. Michael Elk and Jay Lethal was third. So yeah, I'll talk more about that show when I talk about all the Chikara shows 2013. Then with Dragon Gate. Dragon Gate was the best show I've ever seen live, most likely. Like, that show live was just one amazing match after amazing match after amazing match after amazing match. It was just fantastic. Fantastic. The opener was Bryan Kendrick versus Rich Swann, which was a good match. Fun live. The second match was the 6-way freestyle, which was so much fucking fun live. That match was awesome live. They did the 6-way freestyle last year at WrestleMania weekend, and that match live was great. And I watched it on tape, and I think on tape I gave it like 3 3/4, 4. I thought this was better live. So I haven't seen it on tape yet. Maybe it won't be as good on tape because, like, you know, it was a lot more dive heavy, which made it more entertaining live. But on DVD, I mean, it was a little shorter too, so I don't know if that will affect the rating. But fucking live, this was awesome. An awesome live match. The next match was the Super Smash Brothers versus Tomahawk TT and Eita. Live, this was also awesome. The last 5 minutes, in my opinion, were the best finishing sequence of any match that weekend. Like, those last 5 minutes were better than any last 5 minutes of any match that weekend. There was one other match that could have beaten it, but I'll explain why it didn't. But that last finishing sequence was... I was going apeshit insane. And I'll explain... Well, I have to talk about the next match in order to explain it. But Ricochet and Tozawa was also great live. Awesome live. Awesome live. Fantastic match live. A lot of people thought this was match of the weekend. I wouldn't agree, but I didn't even think it was the best match on the show. To me it's 4 or 5 on my top matches of the weekend. But Ricochet, I talked to Ricochet at intermission, and I was talking about his match. And I was like, yo, man, you and Tozawa, man, tore the house down. You guys had a great match. He's like, oh, thank you. Yeah, I was very happy with it. I thought it was a great, great match. I really liked it. And then I was like, yeah, and you have to follow the Super Smash Bros. Match. And I thought that would be hard to top. And he just goes, man, that Smash Bros. Match was fucking nuts. So Ricochet, who wrestled in the match that everyone thought was match of the weekend, was more blown away by the Super Smash Bros. Match before him. So, yeah. There's a match I skipped. And I skipped it because it was my favorite live experience of the weekend. John Davis versus Trent Beretta. My friends, I sat at the show with Trademark and LV. I sat at the show at Shimmer, it was just me and Phil. At Chikara, it was me, Phil, Trademark, and Bryan. And then Phil and Bryan went to the Hall of Fame. And then at Dragon Gate again, it was me, LV, and Trademark. LV and Trademark last year at WrestleMania weekend started a gimmick where they were just unmercifully booing John Davis for no reason, just because there were two faces and they needed to boo someone, so they just started booing John Davis for fun, like just to give him shit. They were just booing him for fun. So now that John Davis is a heel and a heel character that they don't like, they were in full-fledged. Like, as soon as John Davis walks out, LV starts a very loud, and you can hear it on tape. Fuck you, Davis. Fuck you, Davis, like, as loud, and he gets the whole crowd to start chanting. He started the fuck you, Davis chants all week, and that was all him. And, like, in my section especially, whenever Davis did the slightest thing, the crowd would just get on his ass with, like, one-liners. Like one guy would just be like, get the fuck in the ring, Davis. Put a Twinkie in there, that'll get him in. Davis is chain wrestling with Trent Beretta, then he, like, backs away, and one guy in my section just yells at the top of his lungs, slow down, Davis! And, whatchamacallit, Davis just, like, chops the shit out of Trent Beretta and throws Beretta out the ring, and then he just sticks his finger up in the air like that. I mean, you can't see what I'm doing, but he just sticks his finger up in the air, and then one guy, like, with perfect, impeccable timing, just yells, way to work the crowd, Davis! The entire section exploded at that. And me and LV started the whenever we told each other that once Davis actually hit like an impressive move, we would start a "You Still Suck" chant. And I think it's when Trent's going for the Hurricane Rana and he lifts him up and he power bombs him. Oh no, he gives him the clothesline. Me and LV at the top of our lungs are just like, "You still suck! You still suck!" And that spread everywhere too. We all just mercifully beat the shit out of Davis in this match. You can hear some of it on tape, but it's not that audible, but you can hear it. If you look for just booing John Davis, you can hear it. I watched the match back. Of all the matches WrestleMania weekend, the only match I've seen, again, is John Davis, Trent Beretta. I'm not going to lie, it's not that good of a match. I think I gave it 2 stars, flat. I mean, the middle's very, very dull. But the first, 5-10 minutes of that match, you can audibly hear, everything we're saying. You can't hear the one-liners, but you can hear all the chants. And it's just fun to watch. Maybe it's because I knew what the chants were, so I was, looking for a "You Still Suck" chant. But it was so much fun. That live experience of just unmercifully booing Davis. And then after the match, me and LV and Trademark started a "Get the fuck out" chant. We had that going for a while. Then Davis asked for opponents that he could face. He placed an open challenge. There was a big chant. This is very audible on tape. There was a very loud chant for Super Dragon. And he didn't show up. And then there was another very loud chant for Hogan, started by the guys right behind us. Awesome. This whole experience was fantastic. I had so much fun at this match. On pay-per-view, everyone hated this match, but live, I had so much fun at this match. Then was intermission. Then was Sami Callihan versus Uhaa Nation. This was fine. Just way too long. Way too long. But it was fine. It was whatever. Then we got the Young Bucks versus Shimmer and AR Fox. This was great live. This was everything you would expect. I think Ben talked about this a lot on his podcast. When you talk about matches that over-deliver, under-deliver, and then there's matches that just do exactly what you expect. This match was exactly what I expected it to be. A great match live. I don't know on tape how it came off, but live it was great. But they wouldn't go too crazy, and they would save themselves room for another match down the line. That's exactly what it was. And it was great live. I loved it live. So that makes live experience. The 6-way was great. The Super Smash Bros. Was great. Tozawa Ricochet was great. John Davis, Trent Beretta was fucking fantastic. And this match was also great. Then we had the main event. Johnny Gargano and Shingo. The match I was most looking forward to all weekend. Everyone knows I'm a huge Johnny Gargano fan. And everyone knows I'm a huge Shingo fan. In fact, the only reason why I didn't go to the Hall of Fame was because Shingo was going to be at the show. That I was ready to go. Once they announced Bruno, I was like, okay, Gabe, I'm sorry, but I'm going to see you on Sunday. This is my time to go to the Hall of Fame. And then Gabe announced Shingo, and I was just like, fuck, god damn it, now I got to go to Dragon Gate. Because I've never seen Shingo live. This match live was absolutely amazing. I think everyone's kind of overlooking it because of the finish. But live, I was live for Davey Richards, Michael Elgin. I thought this was almost just as good. Everyone was ready to give this match a 5-star match live. This match was perfect live. It was long, but they did everything they could. They told a good story. It was fucking stiff as hell. It was a fantastic match. Then the finish happened, and the finish sucked. Johnny Gargano, behind the ref's back, kicks Shingo in the nuts, and chokes him out with his wrist tape. And he turns heel, basically. The crowd starts booing, and then he cuts a babyface promo. Obviously, not genuine, thanking the crowd for coming out and all this and that. And it was very weird live. Everyone after the show was pissed. My first reaction after the show was not, what a fantastic show. It was, what the fuck, Gabe? That was bullshit. That was my first reaction. Gabe, that was bullshit. It was not, oh my god, Gabe, you gave me an amazing show. It was, Gabe, that was bullshit. That's never good. So, yeah, that was not very good at all. That really soured my taste on the whole show. In Trademark's video, immediately after the show, when he's asking for our thoughts, I'm just super negative on that finish. I don't get it. Honestly. I get you want to just, I love Johnny Gargano to death. And there's a decent chance he's watching this. I don't know. I don't know if he ever watches my videos. He told me he has seen me on YouTube before. I don't know if he just looks at the star ratings I give his matches or fast forward to the point where I talk about him. But, he's told me that he's a fan. he knew that he was in my fave 5, which I'll admit, that's pretty impressive because how the fuck would you know that unless you've seen the video? So I like Johnny Gargano a lot, but I'll say this. I love Johnny Gargano. He's one of my favorites. He has been one of my favorites for a long time. Johnny Gargano as champion isn't really a big deal. It pains me to say that, but that's not his fault. It's Dragon Gate's fault. I mean, the promotion just doesn't know how to promote, and the product doesn't matter. It's simple. It doesn't matter. He's been champion for 500 days. It doesn't matter. Like, it's sad for me to say that, but it literally doesn't matter. It just doesn't. At all. You know, like, I think Bryan was telling me this, like, you know, if Kingston loses the belt tonight, like, you know, that'll mean far more than Johnny. And Kingston's been champion for a long time, but, you know, like, it still means a lot more for Kingston. It means 10 times more for Kingston to lose the title than for Johnny to lose the title. 10 times more. And Kingston's been champion just as long, but 10 times more. Like, it doesn't matter. That champion doesn't matter. I get I guess Gabe's not. Ben talked about this too. Now the question becomes, is Gabe supposed to ignore the fact that his product doesn't matter, or is he supposed to, like, you know, pretend like it does? The goal here, I guess, is to give Johnny Gargano, like, another year-long title reign. Like, continue the title reign for another year, basically. Now, as a heel, as opposed to being a face. But you shouldn't have done it during this match. Like, this match grabbed people's emotions, grabbed people's attentions. Like, you know, this match really, really, like, made people care. And to do the heel turn, in my opinion, detracts from all that emotion just on the turn. Like, I was one of the people that said Davey Richards should turn at WrestleMania weekend last year during the Michael Logan match. And I realized in hindsight that I was wrong. That match encapsulated everyone so much that everyone just wanted to see a clean finish. Everyone wanted to see a celebration of the fantastic match they had just had. But we didn't get that. Instead, we got the heel turn, which live, I hated. Like, it just completely detracted from the entire match. That's why. Like, it took away all the focus. That's why you don't do it. I get why he did it. Hey, if you're going to do the heel turn, why not do it at the biggest show of the year? But no. Not during a fantastic match. Please. Not during a 5-star match. You could have done this on Sunday. Like, honestly. Sunday, at least. Whatever. But yeah, the show was fantastic. Because that match was the best match I saw all weekend. And it wasn't close. The Young Bucks match was great live. The 6-Way was great live. Tozawa and Ricochet was great live. Super Smash Bros. Was great live. And the John Davis match live was a lot of fun. It was fantastic live experience. So everything was amazing. So it was an amazing live experience. Probably the best live show I've ever been to in my life. But that turn still leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth. Fuck you, Gabe. Only you could do that. Like, on the show that, on a product you put on, of a show that I legitimately thought was one of the best shows I've ever seen, only you can make me think, wow, fuck that show. Fuck you, Gabe. Then on Saturday, we were all just very tired. We just didn't really do a whole lot. I hung out with Assault and Battery, really cool guy, and his girlfriend, Jade, really, really cool chick as well. I hung out with them too and Phil for a while, and then me and Assault and Battery and Trademark were eating pizza in the lounge until like 3, 4 in the morning. That was a lot of fun. Then on Sunday, I went to WrestleCon. I'll try to upload some pictures in this video. Interesting things I did at WrestleCon. I'm looking through my phone right now, actually, to remember the pictures that I took here. I know there was 3 that I paid $20 for. Mickie James, she was very, very nice live, and she's gorgeous, but that goes without saying. Mickie James, Jushin Liger, that picture live is awesome, and yeah, Bret the Hitman Hart. Yeah, I met Bret Hart. I had to wait in a long-ass line. I had to wait in line for like an hour, but I expected that. But it was really cool. I only got to talk to him for like literally less than 30 seconds because he had to leave because he had to go to Access. But like, you know, I was just talking to him how I was a big fan of his career, blah, blah, blah. How I wasn't live during his career, but I've seen almost all his best work, and I was very, very impressed, and I just very wanted to thank him for all he contributed to the business. And then I talked to him about the WrestleMania card. Yeah, why not do something different? Everyone just tells him how much you love the guy. I asked him, like, so, what do you think of the card tonight? And he's just like, it's okay. I'm not really into the top 2 matches. And he goes, but that Taker Punk match I'm really excited for. And it's no surprise that the day after he says the Taker and Punk match was awesome, and he said the top 2 matches were predictable and boring. So that's Bret Hart's opinion for you. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And yeah, meeting Mickey James was really cool. I also got a picture with Mike Bennett and Maria. That was nice too. They're both really cool people. I talked to Mike Bennett for a little bit. Also have a picture with Daphne and Roxy. Daphne's. There are some people that think Daphne is like super hot, like on tape. I think she's hot, not like super hot. Live, I was a little disappointed. Roxy live is fucking gorgeous. Especially she's growing her hair back, like it goes like down to her neck. She is beautiful live. I'll say that much. But yeah, no other notable pictures. My picture with Liger I really like because it's fucking Liger. But yeah, it was fun. WrestleCon, you know what you're doing. You kind of blow money. I blew like $80 just at WrestleCon, more than I did in any of the shows. But I got some cool pictures. I got to talk to some famous people, so that was fun. The Dragon Gate show on Sunday. Was good, I would say. Nothing really memorable. The 6-way I thought was the match of the show. I thought that match was very, very good live. The main event I thought was good, Tozawa and Shingo, but at that point, I just didn't really care. I don't think anyone did. I think everyone was kind of just tired and burned out. So no one really. I was sitting with Ben and Trademark, and I just kind of talked to them throughout the whole match. I was watching the match, but nothing was really affecting me. I was kind of just waiting for the finish. But there was some good stuff on the show. Caleb Conley and Scott Reed was pretty fun. The 6-way ladder match was good. It's not like it was a bad show. It was just, I don't know. Wasn't that memorable, to be honest. So that was that show. Then I did not go to WrestleMania. That's right. I never had my ticket. I was going to scalp at the show, but there were no scalpers. The thing was completely sold out. It must have been a hot ticket. I guess the combination of New York and the New York market and WrestleMania market meant big seller, because we could not scalp a damn thing. But I was okay with it. I was fine with it because I didn't really care about the show that much in the first place. I almost didn't go. In fact, if it wasn't for the Dragon Gate show on Sunday, there's a good chance I would have just come back Sunday. I seriously considered that. I just did not want to. I did not want to contribute money to a bill that I just hated. But I went back to the hotel with Phil. Phil was kind of unhappy because, he really wanted to go to WrestleMania. But I was like, yeah, let's just go back to the hotel. Let's get some food. Let's watch it. Let's stream it illegally. Yeah, that's right. And let's just watch it, and we'll enjoy ourselves. I liked the show live. Live, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun show. On pay-per-view, On pay-per-view, I liked it. Everyone that I met that saw the show live absolutely hated it. The Boston Brothers, who I finally met for the first time this weekend, really cool dudes. They hated it. Ben, he hated it live. Bobby from New Jersey, B. Grancio, another guy I finally met this weekend, another really cool guy. He absolutely hated it live, said he was not going to watch WWE anymore. But I understand why they're mad. Not in Ben's case. Ben fucking bastard just got a $50 ticket or whatever it was. But the other guys, I understand that they probably paid excess of $150, $200 for the WrestleMania ticket. So they had they were like, this show better be fucking good. I paid this much money. Me personally, I paid $0. I was fun with it live. The Punk Taker match, and I know what you're saying. Oh, you watched it live. Give us star ratings. I'll put some in the description box. I missed the first 2 matches though. But Punk Taker live, I thought was great. It was a great match. Do not get me wrong. But I think it's kind of a little overrated. I do not think it was at the level of the past 4 Taker matches. I think I'm not going to say it wasn't close, because the difference between a 4 1/4, 4 1/2, 4 3/4 star match is small. But to me, it's clear that it was not at the level of these 4. I'm not saying the 4 were 10 times better, but to me, it's very clear that the previous 4 were better. I could say that much. But it's still a great match. Don't get me wrong. It stole the show. It saved WrestleMania, in my opinion. Brock Triple H and Cena Rock. Brock Triple H especially, I liked live. I think I gave it 3 stars. It was fun live for me. I know a lot of people at the show hated it. On pay-per-view, on my computer, I really liked it. Rock Cena, I hated the first 10 minutes. The last 10 were kind of overkill, but I still enjoyed it. From a storytelling perspective, it was kind of stupid. But from an enjoyment aspect, I mean, I was into all the near falls because I was generally curious. I didn't expect Cena to turn heel. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I will never, ever expect Cena to turn heel. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just not getting my hopes up anymore. So I didn't really care about that. But, you know, they kind of got me. Like, actually, I was fooled on a few near falls. I wasn't sure who was going to win. So, you know, I don't know. I had fun with the match. I'd give that one 3 stars as well, to be honest. Fandango, Jericho, I think I gave 2 3/4. I thought it was whatever live. Del Rio and Swagger, I think I gave the same rating. It was fine live. The Daniel Bryan match, I gave 2 3/4 as well. It was fun live. What am I missing? Fuck, I don't even know. But yeah, Mania I thought was enjoyable. I liked it more than 27. I can say that much. Actually, I won't say that. I like 27 a little more. The undercard on 27 was a little better. The Punk-Orton match was better than anything on this show except for the Taker match. And the Del Rio Edge match was better than anything on the show except the Taker match. So 27 I liked a little better. I think I posted this on Twitter that it's one of the... I enjoyed the show live, but I recognize that it's one of the weaker WrestleManias. I compared a lot to 25 and 27 as far as the one-match show aspect goes with a few good matches on the undercard. But because the Undertaker matches on 25 and 27, in my opinion, were better, I put those shows a little bit above this one. So, wrestling-wise, this is probably the worst WrestleMania since 2000, in my opinion. I know a lot of people who really liked it. Good, if you did. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Maybe it's because, like I said, maybe it's because I paid no money to see it, but I enjoyed it. I had a good time. But I fully recognize that wrestling-wise, it was one of the weaker Manias I've seen in a long time. I can say that much. But yeah, the show was whatever. Then after the show, the Boston Brothers, their friend, Casey on Hawks, Mr. Pay-Per-View. I do not know your YouTube channel. I'm sorry, but you were a really cool dude. You were a really, really nice guy. But I'm sorry, I do not remember your YouTube channel. Link it in the comments if you're watching this. Them three, Phil, LV, myself, and Ben and JP were eating at McDonald's. And I ended up talking to Ben and JP till like 4:35 in the morning. Like, it was amazing. Like, we were just talking about everything wrestling related. That's what I love about weekends like this. Like, you know, you see people you don't get to see often, and you get to talk about things that you don't get to talk about in your regular life. Like, you know, that was fantastic. Those two guys are such cool dudes. I'll plug their site again, freeadmissionfr.com. I plugged it before, but it's fantastic. They do great podcasts. They do great previews of every indie show. I really enjoy their work. They're friends. They're really cool dudes. So I was going to go back, but I was exhausted. I wanted to get a full night's rest. I only had 1 class on Monday, and I could easily skip it. And I knew if I didn't go to Raw, I was going to regret it. I knew that. So I went to Raw, and Raw was fantastic. The crowd was amazing. The Fandangoing stuff was awesome. Dolph Ziggler's cash-in was awesome. And there's nothing more I can really say other than Raw is better than WrestleMania, and every weekend you should prepare for that Raw. Fuck WrestleMania. Like, honestly, prepare for that Raw, because the Raw after Mania is the new show of the weekend. That was the best show of the weekend, by far. The Raw after WrestleMania, because it was just so much fun live. And then afterwards, me, Phil, LV, the Boston Brothers, and Mr. Pay-Per-View were in Walmart, and we took a picture with Fruity Pebbles that one of the Boston Brothers put on their Twitter. I'll post it right now. I'll post that picture in this video. It's a great picture. So yeah, WrestleMania weekend was... Then I went home, and WrestleMania weekend was awesome. It's just so much fun to meet so many people. And there's so many things to do. Like, you know, I saw 3, 4, 5, 6 shows live and WrestleMania pay-per-view. And I met Bret Hart. Like, you know, there's just so much to do at WrestleMania weekend. You know, it's always going to be a fun weekend. You know, like, I believe Friday, you could have gone to Evolve and CZW, or you could have gone to Ring of Honor, or you could have gone to PWS. And if Extreme Rising wasn't canceled, you could have gone to that as well. Or the TNA Hell Show. There's always something to do. There's something for everyone. That's why everyone has to go. Really fun weekend. Really, really, really fun weekend. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. Please, go to WrestleMania weekend next year. I don't know if I'm going next year, because next year it's in New Orleans. Like, you know, for this one, I could just take a train, because I live in the Northeast now. But New Orleans is going to be a little tough. We'll see. I'm not saying I'm not going. I'm not too confident about this one. But I'm going to try to, obviously. I really want to go. But that was WrestleMania weekend. Sorry that I rambled on and on and on and on and on. But I hope you guys enjoy this. And come next year, please. See you guys. Bye.